Yo, yo, yo. What's shaking, everybody? Peachy Viking, welcome. Assassin, how's it going? I need to figure out where I'm going to put this chat so I can actually see what's actually happening. We'll just leave it like that. Hope it's not an April Fool's joke. No, I'm not. Oh, let's use that one. That one works better. That way I can actually pretend I'm looking at you when I'm actually looking at chat. That works. So what's happening, everybody? It's Friday. It's the end of the week. Heading into a ridiculous holiday tomorrow. I'm not really sure why. I'm not really sure why it's a thing, but whatever it is. Oh, there we go. So a couple of housekeeping things to... it's an honor to see your life be so different if you didn't make these. You know what? I love that. Thank you so much for letting me know. I appreciate that. A couple of housekeeping things to get out of the way right off the bat. Just so that you all know, I've had to restart my computer 8 times before I got it to stay running. So if for whatever reason the stream goes down, don't worry, I'm going to come right back because we have a lot to cover tonight. Peachy Viking, I'm going to redo this because it got missed last stream. So Peachy Viking has been a member, a YouTube member, for 8 consecutive months, which is awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I hate it when it's not that I forgot, I missed it. That's what happened. Safe, what's happening? No, it's not. It's a hardware issue, and I'm trying to sort out what it is. When it happens, the stream is just going to lock up solid. You'll probably see a funny face on it'll freeze on a funny face. Stina Maru, you haven't been a subscriber? Steen, come on, man. It'll lock up on a funny face, and I'll have to restart my computer again, but everything will stay going. It usually takes me about 60 seconds or so to get the stream back up and running again. So if that happens, just bear with me here. Sin says my broke ass was gifted by Razer. Yeah, Razer and Death and Whispers dropped a metric butt ton of gifted memberships last, was that 2 weeks ago now? Need to remount that Threadripper if it's getting that bad. Retorque it with the screwdriver it comes with. Oh, that's interesting. I never considered that. That could be it. And this rig has actually it's had some miles on it actually. It's gone to the guy that builds my machines. It's gone back to him 3 or 4 times for upgrades and various things. So it's actually traveled a little bit too. So that's actually good advice, and I'll definitely check into that. Oh, if I did give you a shout out last stream, that's okay. I don't mind doubling up. I seen it on the list there, and I couldn't remember for sure if I had or not. So I just wanted to make sure that was copacetic. Mikey, how's it going? Orange Mart, how are you? I am not a biker. I do want a bike. But no. I've been on, dirt bikes and quads and stuff like that all my life, but no, I don't have a custom or anything like that. Cool to see you live, even when Spanish is not my main language. I can understand easily everything you teach about this. Definitely the best admin teacher ever. I'm assuming that you meant that Spanish is your main language, and I do not speak. I do not speak Espanol. I wish I did. I would love to learn Spanish. I'd take Spanish over French any day of the week. So yeah, today we are talking about... No, before I get into that, there was something else I wanted to tell you, and it was... Screen locking up. Shit, I don't know. It'll come back to me. Yeah, I knew that's what you meant. I knew that's what you meant. Jamie, welcome. Shady, how are you? Like and share. Absolutely, yeah. Make sure you guys have hit the thumbs up on this stream. And every time we go through a little burst of likes, it always seems to bring in more viewers, which is super good. And the more the merrier for sure. Ammo, how's it going? Okay, I'm not going to watch that chat. I'm going to watch this one. So there's a bit of a delay on this one. So, any good resources to learn how to make your own C# mods for Rust? No basics needed. I'm a software developer by trade. Well, then you actually have most of what you already need in your skill set. Honestly, most people that want to start creating plugins, they don't even know C#. So you're well on your way there. As far as for Rust specific, obviously you need to get into the Oxide libraries and all that stuff and figure out all the different things that you can do there. As far as resources goes, you're going to struggle with that a little bit because there's not a whole lot out there. I've been in a couple of Discords where they quote unquote teach you how to build plugins, but they actually don't give you a whole lot of information because they want to keep it proprietary, right? So you won't find a lot of people that are willing to give away a bunch of secrets. Not that it's a secret, it's just there's a right way and a wrong way to write a Rust plugin. You need a decompiler and look at the service code to see what you want to mod. Yep. And then use the hooks Oxide has or Harmony to hook any method. Yep. Oh, that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. So for anybody that wasn't on my stream 2 weeks ago, where is it? There it is. So for anybody that wasn't on my stream 2 weeks ago, we were having a conversation between myself and chat. Somebody said something like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could place a landmine and it automatically went under the ground, same as like a small stash does, and it goes under the ground, not visible to anybody else. And so while we were talking about that, two developers actually immediately started building that plugin. And within a couple of hours, one of them had it done and finished. And then the second one within, I want to say probably the next day or maybe 2 days later, it was done and finished. So BMG Jet, let's see if I can do this without screwing everything up. So if that's something that interests you, go check out BMG's GitHub, because they've posted it there where you can have the plugin. I should have actually asked BMG and I didn't. If I could show this off, I really should have asked, actually. So if you want to be able to have your landmines placed and automatically go into the ground, go and grab that plugin from BMG Jet. Except it's just BMG now, right? Or is it just BM? I forget. Everyone's names change. And yeah, it's awesome. And then the other developer that made a similar plugin, similar in concept, was yeah, beauty. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're right. You did tell me that. The other one that built a similar concept was, now, is it Razer or Riser? I forget which one it was. I can tell you here in a sec. It was Razer. Yeah. So Razer hosts his plugins on myvector.xyz or XYZ if you're American. So yeah, that was the other thing that I wanted to mention, because that is an indicator of exactly how awesome this community is. People say how toxic Rust is. I call BS on that, because you put it out there and boom, within a couple of hours, we actually had a product that we could we can all install on our server and try it out. And I absolutely love that. I love this community. Love it. Safe, welcome as a new YouTube member. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the support. PT Viking, my name will never change. Yeah, I said that too. I've gone through probably 3 or 4 different pseudonyms in my internet career. Yeah, it's and I don't know. I actually don't even know how I landed on this one. I do. I have a story. In fact, I've told that story before on stream before. But this one is the one that I've had the longest for sure. Savage says, I don't run Rust servers anymore, but still watch your stuff and keep up on it. You're doing what Facepunch should have done, or UMod or anyone else. Yeah, exactly. I saw a gap in the market there 4 or 5 years ago when I started this channel, and I said, you know what? We need this. For exactly that reason, because I don't feel that there's enough support out there for new server owners or even existing server owners to get the information that they need. So, Mikey, I agree with you. Some of the players are certainly toxic, but I'm talking about the admin side of things, the team that works behind the scenes. Not toxic. Not toxic. PG Viking, my name is trademarked. It'll never change. Good for you. Anifin, welcome. I can't keep up with your names. Yeah, exactly, right? Jesus, what was it back then? Back in the ECF days, I forget. Ah, shit, I don't remember. Assassin dropping the 4.99 poundage. Followed your videos for years. One stage I'm stuck at is getting some valuable players on the server. Any places or tips you recommend? Yes. My recommendation there is building your community, because that is going to be your strongest resource for good quality players. Without having a community to back up your server, you're always going to have people trickling in and trickling out, but you're never going to have any level of dedication that you're looking for. Mr. Blue says, someone is coming for your job. I had a guy reach out, see if he can make videos on plugins documentation for Oxide /UMod. I want to say that I know who that was, and I think they reached out to me too, which is totally fine. I'm fully in support of that. In fact, if nothing else, it gives me competition, and it'll drive me to be better and better. This is an interesting comment. As much as I like the idea of carbon, I despise the DRM idea. I understand why you're saying that. However, digital rights management is an important aspect to the continued success of what it is that we're trying to do here. Lizard Mods, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to be able to protect a developer's code to the death. There's so many plugins out there that you all don't even know what plugins are out there, because there's no DRM or no mainstream DRM out there. And if we had that protection in place, we would have access to so many cooler plugins. ISA. Oh my God. That's like, man, that was a long time ago. That was more than 10 years ago. That was, oh no, it was probably about 10 years ago. Yeah, that's right. No, damn that. It was like, we're talking like 2004, man. That's a long time ago. Holy shit, I've known you a long time. Jamie, was that you? I think it was. Was that you that emailed me? What's your thoughts on the actual Rust server owners just monopolizing the market? Feels bad for the little guy like me with wife and kids, run and available 24/7 compared to the full teams of 20 servers. Yeah, I mean, you got to think there's server owners out there that have been around since 2013. So 13, something like that, 13 or 14. Yeah, Stina Maru is going to try and get blocked. He waited his 5 minutes after finally becoming a subscriber to the channel. Anyways, let's get on to what tonight's stream is all about. So I have 3 very important special guests, not special like that, but like special, like actually special, that are here to talk about carbon. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a bunch of questions in chat for the gentleman from Carbon. And hopefully we can get everything cleared up so that everyone understands what's going on. And so without any further ado, I think I'll bring them into the stream right now. And let's see what we can do. Yeah, BF2. Yeah, man, I loved Battlefield 2. I wish I could go back to Battlefield 2, but I just know that the graphics would just disappoint me. Okay, Jamie, that wasn't you then. Somebody else sent me a really long and detailed email basically asking how to get started, which is good. I support that. All right, so let's bring in the guests. We're going to start with Death, and then we're going to bring in Rawl, and then we're going to bring in Kaz. So these are all the brainchilds behind Carbon.
Hey, hello.
Whoa,
Hello.
there we go. Hello, how's it going?
I'm doing good. Wait, I'm hearing myself on the stream. How that's gonna be a problem.
What's that?
How's this working?
You got it doubled up or what?
I only have StreamYard. One moment.
So we got Death and Raw both muted. I'm wondering if they realize that. Yeah, you can just mute the stream. Oh, it was double voice for you guys. I got you. Okay. Louis, I'd be more than happy to give you a brief recap of what Carbon is for sure. But I fully encourage you to go check out my video on it. Basically what Carbon is it's a modding platform, a modding framework that will allow us to, deal with plugins and, well, it allows us to install plugins similar to what you're seeing with Oxide. It's just in a very much different format. It gives you a whole lot more. It gives you a UI in game that you can actually use to manipulate things and change things around, and there's also like modules that you can add on to Carbon that gives it even more power than what it had before. So yeah, Yelnat, that's about the simplest way that you can put it, is that it replaces Oxide, and it actually utilizes the Harmony modding framework as opposed to the Oxide modding framework.
Hello.
So I think we have Death. There we go. Welcome to the stream, Death. How's it going today? Whoa, that was super loud. And so they have some technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll get that sorted out. Yeah, exactly, Jamie. That's what we want to do tonight is, I don't know if we're going to be able to actually show what they're working on, simply because I don't have access to it. And it would appear as though everyone is just on a phone, or I'm not really sure what's going on there. Carbon is free. The framework is free itself, and it gives you direct access to everything that's on codefling.com, which will allow you access, obviously, to their entire library of free plugins, Plus, it gives you access to the premium plugins that you've paid for directly from within Carbon. So for my guests, just make sure that you've muted your stream or anything that you're watching, excuse me, that might have audio.
Oh, it's hard to talk. Wait, I'm gonna mute this, and I'm gonna just say what I want to say. So basically, I only have StreamYard open, and I can still hear myself. I think it's through your feed, possibly.
Oh yeah, that could be. Yep. How can I stop that? What happens if I do this? Here, just start talking and let's see what happens if I mute this.
Sure. Hello. Still hear myself.
Okay. That's gonna be an issue then.
Yeah, there's nothing else. It's just
Echo.
Yay.
Okay, so that's interesting. How can I control any of that stuff? I can't. Why can't I?
Would it work to somehow talk through Discord, the Discord channel?
Yeah, we could try that. Yeah, sure, let's try that.
Okay.
So let's I'm just going to try and jump into a channel. We'll go into the Carbon Discord. If you guys want to open up a channel and pull me into it, we'll see if that works better. Sorry about this, guys. I knew that I should have run a test, and I would have had I not had to restart my computer so many goddamn times. Okay, so I'm going to go into this stream right here, and let's see how this goes. Now, this is going to create some sort of a weird delay. I can see it already. Okay, so I have all four of them in here now. How's that going? Okay. And can everyone on the stream hear what's going on in my Discord right now? I need to make sure that you guys can hear that conversation too. I think you should be able to, but let's just check. So if somebody wants to say something. Yeah, okay. So just hang on. I gotta get my damn this is so annoying. No, I can already tell that it's not working, so just give me a second here. So Discord, if we go on here and if we put this on chat like that, and we'll do this one too, chat like that. Okay, so I'll get you guys to talk. I want to see if I can hear you. No. Still no dice. How else can I do this? This is all routing and it's super annoying. Yeah, it's definitely an OBS issue. I totally know that. It's just a question of what I can actually change while I'm live. And okay, so let's try this. So we've got Yeah, so what I have is I actually have everything. Oops. Jesus. Add Discord as an audio input as you. Yeah, I have that. The weird thing is it's not actually pulling from Discord. That pop, whatever that was insanely loud. And I can change my audio from Discord and send that through something else. But man, it's gonna sound weird. Okay, so let's try this. So now we have. Okay, so can one of you chat now? Talk? Okay. So that should have done it right there. So let's just, did everyone hear? I think who was that? Was that Kaz or Raul? Okay. Okay, so everyone in chat, let me know if you can hear this. There you go. Yeah. We got you. I'm not sure. Let's see. Chat says no. Why does chat says no? Oh my God, this is so annoying. Okay. All right. So I don't know. Damn it. Yeah, no, I know. No, I can't restart. I'm not going to restart this. That'll kill me. So what I'm going to do then instead is, yeah, no, I'm not starting again. So what I'm going to do instead then is I have direct communication with the gentleman in Discord. I really wanted to do this a different way and have them actually up on screen. So instead of that, I'm hoping that you all in chat are going to have some really good questions, and I definitely want everyone to try and stump them. You got, okay, what's your idea? Yeah. Okay, sure. Let's try that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's try that and let's see if you guys can hear anything. No, you probably won't be able to.
Hello?
I can already see it. Oh. So let's see. Did you guys hear Death just say hello?
Is there an echo?
I don't hear an echo, but let's see if chat does.
Echo?
Yeah, it's doubled up. God damn it. Yeah, but you're hearing me through Discord right now and Death through Discord, right? Okay, so Death, go back in there and do that again, but don't say the words twice. They're saying that they did hear that, but they think you said hi twice.
I did not say hi twice. Are we good?
I'm not sure. I'm just waiting for chat to respond. Yeah, so the slight echo that you might be hearing might just be the reverberation from their own. Yeah, okay. Screw it. Let's just do it the complicated way. I'm going to Oh, mute my. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let's try that. So, Death, you go in StreamYard chat and turn unmute your mic.
Okay. How's that?
We'll just wait for chat to respond to that, and then hopefully we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to talk in stream here.
Yeah. Okay. Screw it. Okay. So let's just do it the way that I didn't want to do it. I have had this set up before. I'm just going to remove you, Death. I have had this set up before where it actually worked the way that it was supposed to do. I've had to make some changes. Yeah, I'm going to do it the hard way. Exactly. But it's up to you guys now. You guys need to bring me the challenging questions so that I can bring it to the guys in Discord. And the next time I do this, I'm going to run a test beforehand. Oh no, I totally know that it's from my OBS, and it's the way that I have my audio routed, and I won't be able to fix it while we're live unless it's just something like if I do something like this. And because we're not going to go back and forth a bunch of times doing, hey, try this, try that. I don't want to do that because it just wastes your all time. I guess I could put Discord on speaker. That's on speakerphone. Let's see what kind of atrocity that sounds like. So I'm just going to disconnect from there, and then I'll go in here. I'll join this voice like that, and we'll see. So I'm going to mute myself. So someone talk in Discord chat. The delay here is going to be ridiculous. Okay, someone talk in Discord.
Hey, hello.
Okay, so that's what do you guys think in chat? Can you guys actually hear that?
I hope it does work. It would be nice.
Yeah, my apologies. This is such a rinky-dink way of doing things. Okay, chat says that actually works. So let's go with that. All right, so let's go to chat, and here I'm gonna see if I can. I don't really have a way that I can do that. Yeah, I'll keep the phone right here. We'll see how this goes. So I just want to hear. I want to be able to make it so that oh no, I can't do that. All right, let's do that instead. All right. So does Carbon support UMod plugins? Yes, it absolutely supports UMod plugins. And it's going to work seamlessly. If you watch the video that I posted on it, what are we at? Two or 3 weeks ago now. It's a seamless integration. You won't even notice it. It's beautiful. I could put the phone on my head and let the headband hold it. Yeah, that's about as rinky-dink as I could possibly get it. Like if I went like that, how does that look? Yeah, dumb. Oops.
I feel like we're making a back alley porn right now.
Yeah, like it feels so like, yeah, this is terrible. I really wish that I would have been able to set this up beforehand. I do have condenser mic, yeah.
So they can hear us? We can
Yeah,
talk?
yeah, you guys can talk to chat right now and they can hear you.
Okay.
Nice. Hi, chat.
So the vast majority of Oxide plugins do work. However, we are still working with some developers to update some of their work. But I mean, all you have to do is try. If it works,
Yes,
it works. But vast majority should work, though.
Yeah, when talking about, let's say, more complicated or, so to say, plugins that require extensions or external DLLs that highly depend on Oxide's DLLs, that's going to be a bit of a... they're not compatible technically because they're using directly the Oxide's referencing, and we need to, or the developer should be able to integrate like a compatibility with Carbon or a separate version of the DLLs, and that way will just make it work just fine.
Okay, so on that note, how's everything going as far as the different extensions that we already know need to be included with Carbon?
Extensions as in Rustedit
Yep.
Discord?
Yep.
Or, yeah, so they are currently integrated. They are fully working right now as we speak.
Oh, good.
They're open for people to test and explore, and for my own tests, they've been all positive and working just fine.
So there you
yeah,
go.
there's
That's I know a lot of people were asking during when I first announced it on my channel. That's what a lot of people were asking about was Rust Edit because they're running custom maps.
Yes, yeah.
Are there any prototype images of the UI? You don't have to have prototype images because you could actually have live images of it if you want. I would just, if you're interested in going down this road, so this is to Assassin, just install it on a test server and see what you like or see what you think of it, because you can have it up and running, functioning on your server. Or
Yes,
you can
in case
watch
you
my
get,
video.
like, a bit overwhelmed, let's say, with the features that we've implemented that are very Carbon specific. You're going to be greeted with the setup wizard as soon as you do /c panel in chat.
Right.
It's going to bring up a wizard it's just like a paginated panel in which it kind of explains to you what the best parts of Carbon and the most useful things you can have in Carbon. And you can easily enable or disable it of your liking, or even edit the configs that come with the built-in modules,
Yep.
which are basically like integrated plugins into Carbon. And you can, I just added that recently, that you can now modify the config, any plugin config for that matter, all live into the UI. So.
Yeah, but it's also important to say that you are not obliged to do it, right? So this is just, let's say,
sure.
quality of life for
Yes,
people
exactly.
to
Yeah,
use.
it's informational.
Yeah, you still have access to all the Jensen config files that you are used to use, and this is will continue to be like this.
Wait, so are you saying that you can directly edit the configs and data files directly from within the Carbon UI?
Yeah.
Just the configs as of now, but yes. Yeah, the answer is yes.
Oh.
Any config.
Okay, so then would you, after you made some changes to a config, let's say, would you have to go back in and reload the plugin? Or does it?
There's an automated, so there's a cancel, save, or save and reload button. So, yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful.
To add on to that, with in-game GUI, we know it's not practical for people who run massive orgs with multiple servers. We will have an external application for this as well, that you can do the exact same thing with multiple servers.
Yes.
That sounds like that was a new concept. I haven't heard that being discussed.
Well, it's expandable. So a lot of this is really all for the convenience of developers, and with up and coming the DRM system, it's not really related, but it's going to allow centralized server support for plugins, configs, and all that to be self-managed from one place that's convenient for everyone. So
Right. Gotcha.
definitely a road we want to go on.
Okay, so Veeb is asking, will Iced Host let you use Carbon? I don't have a confirmation answer on that. I did propose the idea to them days before Carbon was fully available to the public, and I'm still waiting on a response. But I would assume it's pretty safe to assume that they're going to go with it.
We're working with a few hosts right now, like Tempest, but naturally hosts will add it. It is a feature for their customers.
Right.
Most of them will add it naturally on their own. Realistically, they can do it without, they don't need any help from us.
Yeah, no, for sure. Basically, with Iced Host specifically, or anything pterodactyl related, really, it's just going to be a toggle, whether you toggle on Oxide or toggle on Carbon. I'm hoping that that's the way it's going to go.
Well, actually, we have been working with Linux GSM guys, plus the pterodactyl guys. For Linux GSM, we are already integrated in the developer version, so next time that they release, which should be, you should be able to select either to install Oxide or install Carbon. Okay. And we are working to do exactly the same thing, but for pterodactyl to come out of the box. Like when you set up a new server, you just select, I want to have Carbon, I want to have Oxide, I want to have a vanilla server or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, that's good news. That's really great forward motion. Yelnat says, where did it go? Had issues with Carbon when I went off your video. What kind of issues did you have, Yelnats? Well, and also bear in mind that I only did a really, really top level overview. It's changed a lot since I did that video.
I actually wanted to answer a question MTV asked a little bit ago.
Okay.
You can enable and disable modules through the in-game GUI. There are a few modules you can't, but they will be added. Where you can disable and enable through the GUI. But to expand on the external application for Carbon, it'll basically touch on the features we've implemented into the in-game GUI. So you can manage plugins, manage Carbon, Carbon managed configs, all externally between multiple servers, all from one application.
All externally from the actual servers.
Exactly. So it'll be an application you can install on your desktop, and you could add multiple servers from multiple machines all from one place. Install, manage, delete, configure plugins, configure Carbon, all from one place.
Gotcha. I don't know how to answer this question properly. Are there pterodactyl egg rust egg for Carbon?
Yes, we have an exclusive one that's very ready to go right now, available.
Gotcha. Spoke to Ice Host. They will allow it. We put a ticket in. Perfect. Happy to hear that. Ryan Hoffman, thank you for becoming a subscriber to the channel. I appreciate you. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Every time you guys go through a big like brigade, we end up getting more and more viewers in here. So that's super good. All right. So let's... Okay, somebody's talking amongst themselves, and I don't know the answers.
There was, I think it was Assassin asking this. Can Oxide and Carbon run at the same time? Yeah, this is a good question. This is something that we actually see people doing in the beginning, and the official answer is no. Either you run Oxide or you run Carbon.
Carbon will actually prevent the installation if it still finds those files, right?
This was a mechanism that we implemented in order for people not to be running the two at the same time, because there is no benefit for them, right?
Right.
That would also cause massive issues, because a huge difference at the core integration of Carbon, we are having dynamic hooks, something that Oxide does not have. So they have a whole patched assembly file with all the hooks in them, ready, like always called whenever something in the game happens. And we, if we would do the same thing and dynamically try to patch those methods to keep it simple, it would definitely not go well due to the assembly being different than vanilla, which is what Carbon expects it to be. So
of course,
there would be also no benefit. It would kind of be contradictory to run Oxide. Yeah,
I don't really know why anybody would want to.
Yeah, that's a good
I can simplify that a bit. So what he's saying is, with Oxide, you have 600 hooks at any given time. With Carbon, we only add the hooks when the plugin needs it. So when you load a plugin that needs a particular hook, it'll only then load that hook. Rather having 600 hooks going all times.
Right.
And if you are running the Oxide behind, right, it means that the Rust assembly files, so the game files, are already patched. So having Carbon on top of that, you are just double patching something that is already there. So
And also to put into perspective how big of a difference it is to run Carbon instead of Oxide, is that currently I've tested a whole bunch of different plugins, about up to 200, and it from all 600 patches and hooks, it only used maximum 250. So it's a very low number. That means that a lot of the hooks and patches are not necessarily in the background. It just kind of makes it kind of a clear image of how the server is going to perform. So we've only got so far great feedback regarding performance.
So Stampy, that's why I put your question up on the screen there, because I knew he was answering that question for you. The difference between Oxide and Carbon today is Carbon is going to be a lot more performant because it's making a lot less hook requests compared to what Oxide is currently doing right now today.
Yeah, and we are also using the dynamic patching using Harmony version number 2, which is exponentially faster than V1.
Right.
According to the online testing and stuff.
Right.
And we also we are running latest C# version, C# 11 right now, which means that many new tools and features for developers, plus a lot of optimized, basically plugins run in a way faster fashion because of the way the C# 11 is like running in the background. It's way more optimized, so it's very functional.
Right.
That aspect.
Yelnat says that
another
his
benefit, which is a little bit more important, is how we load hooks. So the server will actually start alongside of us loading these hooks. So your server will actually start faster, which is really important. I mean, we all know that downtime really kills the server.
Yeah, so instead of waiting for the server to actually finish booting, it's actually loading everything during the server boot.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this dynamic hook loading, as we are calling it, this, and answer one of the questions that was here on chat concerning do we need to update Carbon on each new Rust release? Well, we say no, because one thing, and usually what really changes every time FacePunch releases a new game version, is the way that the methods are implemented, right? So, and the hooks are, let's say, injected in those methods. So this is why, for something like Oxide, they need to patch again all the game files, so the hooks are again in the right place with the new code coming from FacePunch. As we have a disconnection between what is the hooks and what is the, let's say, the core Carbon, it means that we can update the hooks and not update the Carbon core itself.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So basically, you don't need to update Carbon unless we push an update that maybe fixes a bug or adds a new feature.
But even still,
Carbon
if you
it
didn't,
runs on top instead of actually patching the assembly.
even if you didn't push that update though, Death, it's not like Carbon is going to stop working. It just means you won't have that specific bug fix.
Well, it depends what changes.
Yeah, okay,
generally
that's fair.
speaking, no, Carbon shouldn't break. Some plugins may break, but generally speaking, Carbon doesn't need to be updated unless, let's say, you need a bug fix or a new feature.
Right.
Yeah, but
we are taking tests before the actual update. We run like a staging branch. We are making sure that Carbon is going to be at least compilable at that level. Then we're going to check if the hooks are all in the right places, and yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but just to manage a little bit expectations, right? Because we have no control of whatever FacePunch does. And
Of
for
course.
instance, when they launched the network threading stuff,
Right.
it broke some parts of core Carbon, so we needed to update and then to revert, because that was a mess. But yeah, in the end of the day, we had to change a little bit, and we had to change some parts of the core Carbon in order for it to work.
Right. So Stampy's got something to say here about DRM. So just to touch on DRM, that's what killed the Gmod servers, because when it came to the dev, stopped supporting their plugins. Those who buy lose out. Why would a customer pay for a plugin? Okay, so I'll take that one a little bit. So chances of somebody from CodeFling not keeping their plugins up to date is, I don't want to say impossible. It's just not very likely.
I have some input to this. So you have
Sure.
to look at it from a different perspective. You know, I don't want to say a pandemic, that's kind of political, but DRM's important because it'll ensure the longevity of the plugin, for example. We see it almost every day, at least on CodeFling, developers being burned out because their plugins being passed around like a unit. And it's not all, you know, everyone who does it is not, you know, intentionally being malicious. They're just unaware of how licensing works.
Right.
But, you know, that's huge. People sharing plugins to their friends and that friend shares to another friend. That's besides the point. DRM is going to unlock so much more potential in plugins because, like you said earlier, people are afraid to share some of their bigger work because they don't want it leaked.
Exactly. Yep. And that's why I support DRM. I know it's going to be annoying for the end user a little bit, but honestly, the biggest annoyance is that you can't share it with your friends.
Well, a lot of the drawbacks will actually become a perk. So, you know, one of the major concerns is not being able to modify, you know, to your server's liking. Well, having a system like this will actually encourage developers to add more customization to their plugins because it'll reduce the overhead or overlap in support. So if, you know, several people are suggesting, hey, I want to do this, they're going to add a config option. So, you know, you are going to lose access to the code, but you're going to get more config options in theory.
Right.
But best of all, that plugin you paid $50 for isn't going to be obsolete in a couple of years because the developer abandoned it because, you know, it wasn't worth maintaining anymore.
Right. How much is going to break with the upcoming type swap from uint to long for net IDs and item IDs?
I just patched that actually. I just that's already fixed. It's ready to go on staging branch.
So there you
for
go.
Plugins, it's probably going to break a few plugins, but there's actually a benefit to that. A few servers actually hit the network ceiling, mine included, with a new industrial update. Basically, there's only so much you can increment a uint.
4 billion to be exact. 4 billion or something.
Right.
But I actually had a little part in that change. So if you have to update all your plugins, I'm sorry about that. But that issue was disgusting. I actually had 3 servers hit the ceiling, and it basically bricked the entire server.
So there you go, BMG. There's your answer. It's already fixed. Not going to be an issue.
All you have to do is just change all your instances of uint to ulong, and you're ready to go. And I mean, this change was much needed. I mean, we're talking about a ceiling that, I mean, even if you wanted to, you couldn't hit the ceiling. So that's actually a big W, and I'm glad they pushed that out so fast.
Perfect.
But I had a couple questions I wanted to answer.
Sure.
Let's see if I can find it real quick. Someone mentioned, it was Veeble. We don't have a direct line to Face Punch. I mean, we can message Alistair whenever we want. We may or may not get a response, but we have staging for a reason. So we test Carbon on staging before the server update comes out. You know, staging is usually updated a week before the big update, so we have plenty of time to iron out issues. So you don't really need a direct line to Face Punch. They already provide the tools to, you know, make sure we know what's coming.
Great. That's awesome. Can you just tell them I hope they know how much they have changed Rust for the good? So there you go. That's for you guys. I agree with that sentiment 100%.
I want to clarify. I've been running servers since 2017, so I know the struggle, and we're trying to simplify and get rid of the tedium, and most importantly, get rid of the stress. So with Carbon, there's no more having to update every time the server updates, assuming nothing broke, and there's no having to worry about, I updated the server, so I have to update, you know, Oxide, for example.
Exactly.
It eliminates all that.
The wipe day stresses should be gone for
also
good.
To mention, so to mention, we're also currently working on self-updating, which means you don't have to shut down the server in order for Carbon to update, or the hooks of Carbon.
Right.
So everything gets reloaded, patched, and you can like switch versions of Carbon, like production, staging, or develop, and just while the server is running.
That's called runtime updating, is it not?
And a question by Repeat Pete. By the way, long time no see. he mentioned some of the Chaos plugins. Unfortunately, we tried reaching out to the developer, but yeah, you already know the story. All we can do now is just point you to alternatives. In fact, there's a bunch of alternatives to a lot of their plugins. But other than that, there's not much we can do. His DLL is private, and we have no right to modify, and we're not going to modify it. So we can't really do anything with that. It's, we got to respect their decision.
Yeah, exactly. So, Kilyu has decided to stick with his original team or original tribe. That term seems to be working out fairly well. And we'll be waiting for a different solution that will take care of everything that is all chaos related. I don't have any information on that right now, but it is coming down the pike soon. How does Carbon know where to apply the patches when the server code changes?
We maintain that in the background. It's so the dynamic patching in the way we ship the hook DLLs, they are generated by us, and they're going to be shipped whenever they needed to be. Basically in the public.
Okay.
Yeah, but just to add a little bit to this, so this is why I was saying before that we don't need to change the core if when Facebook reaches something, right? But this doesn't mean that we don't need to adapt the existing patching, and this is the Harmony transpilers, in order for them to work with the new code, right? But when we, let's say, when we release, we just maybe need to release only the hooks and not the full Carbon, let's say, platform.
Right. No, that makes sense.
So, and by the way, also, if there's any broken hooks, it's not going to break the server in any way. It's just going to throw a couple of errors, and you can report them. And we're going to do our best to fix those.
Yeah, so actually, this is an important part. So if you have a plugin that is using or FacePunch released something that broke one of the hooks, this doesn't mean that you are not able to run all the other plugins. We just one specific plugin will not work for you. So even inside a plugin, one hook will just stop working, but the plugin, the rest of the functionality, it could be there. It could be sufficient, but it depends on the plugin, of course.
Right.
Yeah, but this is
like Cons would work, for instance. They would work for sure.
Right. Okay. Do Carbon plugin auto restart on code change, or is it manual like Oxide's oxide.reload and then the plugin name?
Yeah, so by default, it depends on you. By that default, it automatically reloads. Yes.
Yeah, and by the way, this is also valid for Oxide. It could reload on a file change.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. Yes. Yeah. And you can disable it in the Carbon's config.
Cool. I like that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
General rule of thumb, though, for a live server, I kind of recommend against using. However, with Oxide, it was more prevalent because the compiler would crash more often. With the new compiler we're using, I personally haven't seen it crash, and I reload like a maniac when I'm coding. But I'm not going to say it won't crash. I'm just saying keep in mind. Of course. That you run the risk of the compiler crashing every time you reload a plugin.
Right.
And that goes for Oxide and Carbon.
Got another question from Shady. So how do devs know what hooks didn't get fixed? And what if this hook was something important, like used for removing RP or economics?
We have checksum validations, and we have our instructions, which means we can see where everything is expected to be, and we can do tests, as in see if it is able to how should I define this, to patch that hook or patch.
So you're saying that you get access to staging prior, so you can have it fixed before it becomes an issue for everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of how our not development, but the way we would do that before it goes live. That's what we would test. We would in mass basically test if all the hooks are going to get patched. If something throws an error, it's going to tell us what's wrong in the IL code, and we're going to fix that accordingly.
Cool. Assassin says, Bull, please keep this visible to watch after it ends. I always do. You can always watch all of my previous streams. So on that note, if you haven't already, make sure you hit like on this video, because every time you all do that, it brings in more people.
So Josh P, if you're referring to the mod itself, no, you need to pick one or the other. If you run Oxide alongside Carbon, you basically defeat the purpose of Carbon. If you're referring to plugins, then yes, you can run Carbon and Oxide plugins together.
Also,
And
just keep in mind, whenever you're doing porting, you should pay attention to the folder names. The only thing that's different in Carbon, we renamed config folder to configs plural.
okay.
That's all. You just have to rename that, and that's it.
So just as a point of clarification there, because the question was asked again. So is it not true that Carbon will not install if you have Oxide installed on your server?
So if Carbon boots up and it detects that there are Oxide DLLs in the managed folder of Rust, it's going to print a very clear message saying that it's not gonna. You have to get rid of those basically to get rid of Oxide first, and yeah.
Which is exactly
it's
the
just not
process
something
that I
you-
showed on the video that I did put to production. I showed how to get rid of those Oxide DLLs in
Yeah.
order for Carbon to
Exactly.
run
Yeah,
properly.
Yeah, that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically Oxide.core.dll. That's the only check we do. That's the main thing that kind of clears it up.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you also did this, Bull, because you need to remove the Oxide DLLs and you need to run again the Steam update comment. That's
Yes,
the two.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did do
Yeah.
that on that video. Yeah, you run the updater to put it back to vanilla and then go
Yeah,
in and
exactly.
delete all of those
Exactly, yeah.
Oxide DLLs. Yep. Exactly.
So Shady, when you load a plugin, it'll let you know what hooks are added, and it'll also let you know what hooks fail.
Yes, exactly.
And you have also a comment that is c.hooks that will show you what is loaded, how many plugins are using each one of the hooks, what is the average time per hook. So it gives you a little bit of statistics also.
Yes, and also there's c.report, which is going to reload all your plugins. It's going to run a time. It's going to calculate how much time so it's going to print a very detailed kind of table of all the hooks in every single plugin and the times taken. So you kind of just didn't understand. It's like a profiling thing and what fails or what's taking too long. And yeah, you can just check it out when you have time. It's good for profiling.
So
Yeah.
the Carbon Discord, if you just type in Carbon mod as the URL in Discord, you don't need to type in the discord.gg.
That's for Twitter, right?
No, that's for Discord.
No, that's your Twitter handle on the screen right now.
Yeah, that's the Twitter account. Yes. But, yeah, so it's Carbon mod for Discord if you want to join the Discord.
Oh, that was Ahmed that actually asked that. There you go. So yes, there is a Carbon Discord. I actually have it linked in the video that I put out a couple of weeks ago for the Carbon framework. You can check out that video and the link is in the video description.
If you're joining from the Discord desktop app, just type in Carbon mod, no spaces, and you'll join the server.
There you go. Is this the first plugin compiler wars between Carbon and Oxide? I believe Carbon will win. That is an interesting conversation, and I have information from both sides, from both tribes, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I'm not going to pick sides, but it's going to be an interesting battle back and forth. I'm sure of it.
I think we can say that in the end of the day, who will win is the user.
That's kind of my thoughts on it too, is I don't really care who wins, whether it's Carbon or Oxide. As long as I benefit the most, I'm happy.
Yeah. Like Beth was saying, this we are approaching this more from a server's perspective, more from the quality of life of the admin, so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
it's the user that will win in the end of the day.
Is there a document that
This is
develops?
what we're trying to do, let's say.
Is there a document that the developers can use to get all of the commands for Carbon?
There is a command. You can do c.find space c dot. It's gonna print all the commands of Carbon, or just c dot space Carbon.
Okay.
Everything has a description as well, so it's gonna describe everything that the command does.
Okay. So there you go. That was Jamie Scott asking that one.
Now, before I mention this, I don't know if it's up to date, but we do have documentation. If you go to carbonmod.gg and click the documentation button, you'll see our documentation. Now, I don't know if it's up to date, but our documentations will be there.
Yeah, it's lagging a little bit behind, but yeah, we keep it updated as much as possible, let's say.
Yes. We have a hooks page as well. I'm still working on that. It's already there. It's just kind of out of date. We have to do a couple of things because we switched the system to dynamic hooks. Like we have a pretty big backend for doing all that. So to generate those pages and then document them, it's gonna take just a tad bit. But yeah, coming soon.
Mr. Viper
is,
asks, what if
yes,
I already
please.
have Oxide? Can I transfer all of my files? And yes, absolutely you can. If you watch my video that I posted a couple of weeks ago, it shows you exactly how to go about doing that. In fact, let me just post that. If I had a moderator in chat, I would get them to do it. But being that I don't, I will pull that video up and I'll post it for you in chat, because it goes over the exact process and all of the steps that you have to take. And there's not many of them, so don't worry about that. It's not like it's super complicated or anything like that. And you will be successful. Just give me 1 minute.
So it's actually it's mainly drag and drop. So with Carbon, the file structure is mainly the same. The only difference is instead of config, it's configs. So literally, I would just take a copy in case you need to revert back to Oxide. I doubt it, but just in case, then you can just drag and drop all your files into Carbon, and it'll just work. Just make sure to rename config to configs plural.
Right.
You're good to go. All your existing user data, all your existing permissions, all your existing configs and data files will work with Carbon out of the box.
Right. Can you post images of the UI in Carbon so I can see, or is it just a channel with them as it would be nice to see? Well, I mean, you can watch that video that I just posted in chat there, and you will see what the UI looked like 2 weeks ago. It has changed a lot. It's changed a lot since then.
I invite people to join the Discord server. I continuously post like sneak peeks of what I'm working on, and that's been very prioritized. Like as I said, now there's a config editor all built in the UI. You can edit any plugin. But by the way, we do also have a plugin browser, so you can browse free CodeFlink plugins and UMAT plugins all within the UI, all in game. And once you install those set plugins or they're detected, you can edit your config straight in and save or save and reload the config.
Beautiful. Josh asking where Amino is, and Amino has been MIA all day. I have Discord messages waiting for him when he comes back. He's an incredibly busy dude. But yeah, I definitely need to have a moderator in my chat, and that is Amino, and he needs to stop being so goddamn busy. That's what needs to happen. So what if I had a host here? Let me put that up there. What if I had a host? Would I have to contact them to change it to Carbon? So that's a complicated question / answer, because not everyone is going to be ready to run Carbon right away. And well, actually, I'll let the Carbon guys answer. What do you have a better answer than that?
If they don't already have the option to switch to Carbon, put in a ticket.
There you go. Submit a support ticket. Tell them you want Carbon, and they'll do what they have to do, if they have the ability to make it so that you can have access to Carbon.
And if they need any information on integration, just have them join the Carbon Discord and have them message any one of us, and we'll help them out.
Right. Have you sorted out all of the plugins from
for
Chaos?
The guys that are running, we already said this, but again, you should also expect for Carbon to come out of the box for Linux GSM, and as a pterodactyl egg.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
you can find it all of that information on the site or in the Discord. It's all there's tutorials too, by the way.
Sky Donkey, unfortunately, there at this point, as of today, there won't be any integration with anything from Chaos. because the long and the short of it is, KillU just isn't willing to work with the Carbon team to give them access to his library, and he's fully within his rights to choose that. That's totally fine.
Well, to just mention, there's a whole bunch of plugins that do work right now from Chaos Code in Carbon.
Free ones, right?
Yeah. No, paid ones too.
Oh, they work. Yeah. You just can't have direct access to it from the UI.
Yeah, just the plugins that are not updated with the new extension.
Right.
That's all.
Because the problem is we have built inside Carbon compatibility layer with Oxide. So whatever plugin that you have in the CS format, so the source code for it, it should work with Carbon. Okay. The problem is for plugins that are relying on what Oxide calls extensions. Okay. And Chaos Code is okay. He has a lot of them that are relying on those extensions. We cannot change the extensions, right? That the extensions were built specifically for Oxide. So this means that we cannot load them inside Carbon. So this is the reason why plugins that rely on those, let's say, on those special Oxide extensions, we cannot load them.
Gotcha. With Carbon loading, as the server loads, is it possible to wipe the server on a set schedule?
There is already a built-in module for that. It's not fully finished yet, but that's one of the first modules, and it's internally integrated plugins of Carbon. So that comes to basically.
Yeah. Well, let's manage expectations once again. So we foresee to have this in the future. Is not coming yet, shipped with Carbon.
So a built-in auto wiping system is on the plan, but it's not ready to go just yet.
Yeah.
Notice that trying to get support staff to join a Discord is hard. Will be the main info on a website for information that they need. Yeah, so the reason why it's hard to get support staff to join a Discord is because they would have thousands and thousands of Discords that they would be a member of. Trust me, I know exactly. I know the pain. So the question for the Carbon team is, will the main info be on a website for information that they might need? So this is in regards to service providers wanting to provide the ability to switch over to Carbon from Oxide.
Well, there isn't just one specific implementation. Each host is going to have their own setup. So, I mean, our repository is public, and they can figure out the rest themselves. I mean, it really depends on their environment. But to answer your question, you have all the power, right? Because you're paying them. So they can either satisfy your request or you can find a new host.
Yeah,
so I think that fair. Leverage will expedite your situation.
That's a really fair response, actually.
Yeah, and from our side, we are, let's say, always available to help if they need to integrate Carbon. Just go to our Discord, get in touch with us, and we will do whatever we can to help them out.
Perfect.
We are reaching out to hosts as well to try to get them to integrate, sooner rather than later. But naturally, they should all just adopt it.
Agreed. On their own. So here's my man Con. So if UMod's Discord extension gets another rewrite or big changes, are you guys going to keep the important extension into Carbon?
Well, first off, we didn't copy and paste the UMod Discord extension, and the extension is just a wrapper realistically. So, they can't really make major changes that would, upheat anything. At the end of the day, it's just a wrapper for Discord API.
Hopefully that answers your question, Con.
We need to be realistic, and we can't just import into Carbon every extension that is out there, right? So, and by the way, I think that in the end of the day, this will be a question of numbers. As soon more people starts adopting Carbon, the Carbon starts to be, let's say, more
mainstream,
has more weight in the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's also in the, let's say, in the good benefit of the developers to start adopting more and more Carbon, right? So yeah.
I agree.
Just to clarify that, the extensions we're adding, we're not just adding public extensions. They're being made specifically for Carbon, or they're being contributed to Carbon. For example, the Rust Edit extension was mainly contributed by BMG Jet. So we appreciate their efforts on that.
Absolutely. um, where did I leave off here? Not sure if this is specific to a framework, but can you use add API wrappers and access APIs? Man,
Yeah,
that,
you can send web requests. Yeah, sure.
That's-
Yeah, sure.
don't bring ChatGPT onto your server. Man,
Well,
no.
sentiment
I love
analysis.
it.
Sentiment
I've been using it.
analysis. Yeah.
I've been using it lately. It's actually quite great.
Oh my God.
It's the future.
I will just throw this out there, but think about moderating the chat, the toxic players in the chat automatically. I'll just throw this out there.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that's a good.
ChatGPT is the infant version of Skynet. Anybody that doesn't believe that, come at me. I'll fight you.
Hey, PG,
Yeah.
they can join the Carbon Discord or they can DM us directly. It doesn't matter. Just whatever is more convenient for them. And if they need to, we'll set up a conference to work things out with them if need be.
Was that in response to this?
The PG Viking.
Oh, okay. So Jamie Scott is asking, is there an email that that Carbon got in case they don't want to in case they don't want to join Discord to contact you?
Yes, Raul, what is that email?
I'm looking it up. One moment, please.
Mark Luskin, welcome to the
I
chat.
haven't used it honestly for anything.
You can send a DM on Twitter also if you have Twitter. I think we
Sure,
also
yeah.
have an account. Yeah.
We do have email, but we really don't use email that much. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
So
kind of like AOL nowadays who uses email.
probably one of the best things you can do is follow them on Twitter and then annoy the hell out of them if they don't respond.
So Whisper just asked a really great question. So I've touched bases on this. So with modules and everything we're adding, you can disable it. And what I mean by disable it is it's not in memory but not being used. It's completely redundant at that point. So we are adding some quality of life and some necessities to Carbon, i.e. in the form of modules. And I know, again, this may be redundant for larger servers, but you can completely disable it. And I mean completely. It won't be in memory. It won't be occupying anything on your machine. Once it's disabled, it's done.
There you go.
Same with the extensions. If you don't need the extension, you don't enable it, it's done. You're not using it.
By the way, the email is support@carbonmod.gg.
But it is important to note that, we are a framework at the end of the day, but we are trying to import, widely used necessities because it would be beneficial to us if we can maintain this stuff. I mean, we're talking about critical stuff that is the core to maintaining a server.
Right.
So if we have control over this and we can ship it with Carbon, that would be more ideal because it'll work the best for Carbon and we can keep it updated and fix issues before they become a problem.
Yeah. But
Beautiful.
again, if you really don't want to use them, you just disable them, and that's yeah.
Exactly. Don't worry, modules is not going to become a 50 long list plugin folder. That's not the goal of modules.
So it's very, very little or no overhead cost if you choose not to use that module.
They're like plugins. When they're unloaded, they're unloaded.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't occupy memory. They don't occupy any processing. They don't exist other than physically on your hard drive that takes like a kilobyte of data. That's it.
This is an important note here. So DJL said can't get the Carbon pterodactyl egg, blah blah blah. The C admin command to work. Couldn't get this. So it's now been changed, which is so Mikey responded with they've changed it now to cpanel. So try that and see if that gets you any further ahead. But no, as far as issues with the egg, there shouldn't be any. In fact, I know of people out there that are actually using it, so it should be working.
Hey, Raul.
Yeah.
Did you seriously?
Did I what?
It's the Command C panel now.
Yeah.
I want to punch you so hard.
You literally said that you wanted the changes to that.
No, I said /CP and you said C panel as a joke.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, so
you can change it
yeah.
in the config. That's the default. Okay, you can change it.
Let's expand on that. So we were working on permissions, and we wanted a cadmin as permission, and we thought it would be confusing having cadmin as a command. And I felt the command was kind of generic, so we wanted to do /cp for carbon panel. But yeah, you can change
like
that
it
in
too
your
much.
own config. I think it will be changed to CP as default. cPanel's kind of.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, I'm pretty happy that that happened in real time.
I just found that out in real time actually. So
Yeah, that was.
I
that
was
a
gonna
recent
say
change.
if you're using Carbon for the first time and that command does not work, check your auth level. So there is a minimum auth level you can configure in Carbon, and I believe the default's auth level 2.
Yes.
So make sure your auth level is 2 before you run that command. I do think I did add. I don't know if
Yes,
I
you
pushed
did.
it yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I did add
push
a
it.
warning. Yeah, I added a warning in chat. So if your auth level is not high enough and you're an admin, it'll let you know.
Beautiful.
By the way, Jamie Scott, you cannot add both just yet, but if that's gonna be like a ideal request, I can easily add that. So you can
Honestly,
configure
I
both.
would probably prefer to have both. When I'm teaching something, I'll use the longest form of the command, but when I'm actually using it in real life, I like shorter commands.
Sure. I also recommend to bind it.
Yeah, binding is
So,
nice. Yeah.
the panel, which is we're calling the carbon panel now, the reason we're trying to make it less generic is because it's going to have more use than just server owner access. We want it to be used by multiple permissions. So you can have a mod that has access to muting, kicking, banning players.
Right.
You can have an admin that might have more service level stuff like setting permissions, removing permissions. And you have the owner, which can add, remove plugins. So
Right.
we want to make sure you could, set permissions, customize permissions, and give people a subset of what they can do on the panel. So it's more, it's used, for more than just server stuff.
Whispers is actually bringing up a really important point here. So, for example, so what he said is CP can stand for a lot of things. Happy you're not using it. What I'm wondering though is there a main library somewhere where somebody could go to see if a command or a command prompt that they wanted to use on a plugin was already being used by another plugin? Is my question clear?
Yeah. So if there's like command conflicts, you're gonna be let known in the.
Yeah, it'll definitely
but
tell
I
you.
don't think anyone is keeping like a central database about all the comments at all the plugin. I
Yeah.
never heard nothing about that. Yeah.
I mean, it would be
Yeah.
a big database of a lot of different commands.
You would have to consume so many drugs to want to do that.
Yeah.
But generally
Yeah.
speaking, if there is a conflict, it will yell at you in console. The
Yeah.
worst thing is if we do use CP, which I think we will because it's more convenient than cPanel, you can just change it in the config.
But
You
if you
don't-
were
you know,
binding
if-
it, it wouldn't matter.
What do you mean?
If you bound /c panel
Panel.
to a key, then it wouldn't matter how long the command was.
Yes. Yeah. I bound it to C, the letter C, and it's quite fast.
Yeah, but for right now, let's assume it's /cp. If for whatever reason you have a plugin that uses that command, just change it to config. You can change it to whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna make it so you can add multiple commands for the same panel.
I'm going to bind
Like
it to
C
my F20 key and then use my Stream Deck to actually activate my F20 key.
Nice. There you go. Good use.
So
Also,
just in
these are
case,
F20.
so just in case not everyone knows that, did you know that you don't just have your F1 through 12? You can actually have F13 to F24 as well, without actually having those keys on your
That's-
keyboard.
That's neat.
Yeah, you had to have gray hair in order to know that.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. And if I had hair, it would definitely be gray.
Yeah.
Carl
That's from
T.
long time ago.
Carl T is stroking my ego here. Amazing work. Thank you for all your hard work. This today, this is all about Carbon and the team over at carbonmod.gg because it's their hard work that we're showcasing today.
So an interesting question by COX or
Yep.
whatever however you pronounce it.
CEOX.
So no, there is no web browser support. You can technically make videos by rendering images and overlapping them. However, you won't have. I mean, I guess you could do audio, but yes, technically you can have videos. But we're talking about 5 frames a second video. Not ideal.
I've seen, I don't know names honestly, but there's like a GitHub I saw recently that actually renders in the GUI images from a YouTube stream all in the server. I'm not sure how that works yet, but it's a cluster.
Yeah, it's possible, but it really depends on the player's network and how fast they can download those images. So if you're on a really good connection, you can probably get 5 frames a second. If you're on a bad connection, probably 1 or 2. So not ideal.
Yeah.
And
So
you would have to have an additional stream for the audio, and syncing that would be a nightmare, and it's not worth the overhead in my opinion.
Lizard Mods is asking which is the best day of the week, and I'm gonna have to go out there and say that Fridays are the best day of the week because that's when I release new videos.
Friday. I love weekend generally, even though every day for me is kind of the same thing, but I love the vibe of Friday or the weekend. It's great. Makes me happy.
Christoph, let's okay, so you have more of my interest now. Can this be implemented in Rust and bind all of my commands? Yes, absolutely. If you're not binding all of your often used commands, you're just letting the best parts of life pass you by. I have like probably 8 binds on my keyboard. No, in fact, I've got 9 right there. 10, 12. I've probably got 15 just on my keyboard, and then I have an entire Stream Deck dedicated all to my Rust commands. I've got commands everywhere. Yelnats Friday. Absolutely, bud. Absolutely. So instead of taking up their entire evening, because for I know 2 of these gentlemen, it's actually very late in the morning, or going to be very soon for them. So what I want to do is I want to wrap up with the Carbon team. So before I do that, if you guys have any last minute questions that you want to pose to them, now would be the time. Sky Thunder, do you plan to make a tutorial for Oxide to Carbon migration? Does all the Oxide mods are compatible? Well, I've actually already done that video. I'll post it for you again in chat because it is important that everyone knows that that is already out there. I'm here to help. Oh, shut up.
So you were thinking about Skynet?
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm bitching about Skynet and I'm wearing it on my wrist. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the tutorial's already made for a Carbon, Oxide to Carbon switchover. It's really super easy, and it definitely is, all the details are in that video, so make sure you check that out.
And again, join our Discord, because we always have, even if we are not the ones really answer, the community is very active and they are always willing to help people out. So
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not not to give too many expectations, but recently I've been streaming development of Carbon in the Discord, so yeah, you can join too.
That channel that you stream in, is that a public channel?
yes,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
we
that.
also have lo-fi there. We got some nice music, and then Death also has some of his playlists.
and sometimes we have both of them at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Also.
That was my
exactly.
experience. Yeah.
You can enable, disable whichever you want to listen to,
Right.
Survive or Death.
But most importantly, you can join that channel for Raw to leak some of the work that I've been working on. If you're interested.
Stay tuned for more leaks.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yelnet says, I recommend a clean install. I would also recommend a clean install. So go through and run your updater so that you take your server back to vanilla. Then go in and delete the Oxide mod, oxide.dll files that are required to be removed, and then go in and install Carbon. It's super easy. I make it sound like it's really complicated. It's not complicated at all.
Yeah, or starting fresh is really putting it into perspective to kind of get the sense of, how Carbon looks, the folders, so you don't see like an Oxide folder and a Carbon folder and get kind of confused.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. If you were starting up
Make sure
a
you
fresh
validate
server,
most importantly.
start with
yes,
Carbon.
Exactly.
Because Oxide lives within the assembly that Facepunch ships with the server, so if you don't validate, you're still going to have Oxide, even if you delete all the Oxide DLLs.
Yeah, the patches are there, and those are gonna break.
Also,
Carbon, but yeah.
While we're on the topic, please try Carbon before you install it on a live server. While it should work right out of the box, you never know, and I don't want you to have a terrible experience for your first time. So get a small test server. Yeah, just test everything first. It should work, but in the off chance it doesn't, it's better to be on a test server, a local server. That way you can communicate any issues and we can fix it on our end.
Better to be safe than
way,
sorry.
Usually within a day, because we are very active. So Carbon is really active development. So if you post your issues, you'll get an answer, and we'll try to fix them as much as possible.
Not to self-promote, but Carbon does have a full-time team.
No, you can promote, man. This was for you guys.
So this isn't something we do in our free time or what we do on the weekend. We're full-time. If there's an issue, we're going to fix it.
Yes, I'm very hard at work with it, and I love working on it, and I've been doing a ton of progress. And
no, we will not support Covalence.
Actually, we do.
We do. Yeah,
we do already fully support it, but we do not think it's a great idea. So don't.
Yeah.
From now on,
plugins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what I meant to say is we shouldn't support Covalence.
But you do?
Oxide shouldn't support it either.
Yeah.
I know Carbon is only for Rust.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not going to add any universal garbage. It's just Rust. There's no bloat.
Yes, everything that's added, it's really surface level, or some of the classes, or like the code is really just to make it so it works with plugins. Like plugins don't even use it, but it's needed to be compiled. So a lot of Carbon is very, very lightweight. I would put it that way. On processing power, memory, and all that.
I wanted to end on one thing. Speaking of bloat, I do see this quite a lot with people seeing our modules and our extensions as bloat. I can't iterate how important it is to understand that these can be disabled completely. If they're disabled, they're not occupying anything. They technically don't exist. But our primary focus is on majority of servers, and unfortunately, majority of servers are your servers that have less than 20 players on it. If you really think about it, there's only about 500 servers that are actually populated. So our main focus is on the vast majority of servers. So some of our built-in features may not make sense to you, and if that's the case, disable it. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not bloat.
So a really important question from Jamie Scott: are you going to be adding some sort of a ticketing system on your Discord so that people can actually submit tickets, or do you just want voice chat or regular chat?
We highly recommend using the actual GitHub for this, like the GitHub issues tab. We've been actively using it recently. But yeah, that's the best way because we can track the commits, where the problem started, what exactly broke. Oftentimes people can point directly in the code of what is wrong and can let us know to immediately fix it. So, but also for open discussion, there's channels in the Discord.
Yeah.
There's also suggestions. There's no ticket stuff in our Discord. But there's a couple of forums, those one you can create threads.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and you can leave, or by the way, so when you report something, please try to be as descriptive as possible and explain it in a way that we can replicate it.
And just to add a little bit on this, we move so fast that the version that you are running is really important.
Yes, so it's best for you to run latest develop build or commit. So there's a develop and commit are the most recent. Develop builds every single morning or Europe time. And the commit is every time we push a new commit, it's going to build it and it's going to be available for people to download from the releases page on GitHub.
Okay.
Just to take one question for Shady about the injection method. To be honest, Shady, we are sticking for now, let's say this way, only with Unity doorstep, because other than you and I, we are the only ones that are having issues with Unity doorstep. So as long as we don't have, let's say, a bigger user base with issues with the injector, we'll try to keep on supporting one. But especially for you, I'll build the second injector, so don't worry.
I think that's a very heavily Windows 11 issue. I think.
Actually, I downgraded to Windows 10 recently, and I have exactly the same issue. So I don't know.
You downgraded. I didn't think that was a possibility.
Yeah, you have to wipe it. You have to
Oh.
install from scratch. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Okay.
I did that recently too, and it's much better. I really recommend Windows 10 over 11.
Windows 11 is full of shit.
It's not there yet. That's for sure.
I do believe it may be related to, like, particularly an APK you installed to in Visual Studio or something. I think Shady was mentioning that.
Yeah, the only thing that I found in common between my setup and his was that we both had Visual Studio with Schemadian. I don't know how to say this in English. The developer kit for the mobile apps. We both have it at the same time, so it could be related. I don't know, but yeah, it's just two of us. So I don't think right now that this is the proper thing to invest over time.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, I think that's going to, I'm going to shut you guys down and let you get back to business because I know that it's late for both, two of you anyways. So thank you all so much for joining the stream. I appreciate it. And I'm hoping,
Thank you for having us.
absolutely, I'm hoping that
yeah.
your Discord is going to blow up with questions and praises and all of these things. Hopefully some problems that people
You guys
need
are
to
welcome,
fix.
yeah, and suggestions and stuff, ideas. I really love implementing because the Oxide compatibility, that's the bare minimum right now for Carbon. From now, it's only higher up, so we have plans. As said, we already have the Carbon panel. There's a whole bunch of things, tools for developers as well we're implementing. Again, we are running C#11. Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. It's a bigger playground.
Yeah, and okay, not revealing too much, let's say, but we have an internal roadmap that we want to meet.
Mhm.
And right now, most of our effort has been, let's say, bringing the capability of Oxide. So this is where we spent most of our resources so far. But yeah, in the future, we are planning to implement Carbon specific things and tools and frameworks for developers to have, let's say, higher quality of life when doing Rust.
Do you have any teasers you can give away there?
No, not for now. Not for now.
Okay.
Let's keep it.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Lastly, I just want to answer two questions real quick by
Sure.
Peachy. So that would depend on the developer. I would say from personal experience, the vast majority of the time, they're not going to charge you per server. But again, that's up to the developer.
Oh, Peachy Viking. Oh, okay, there we go.
But generally, no. I don't think developers will charge you per server.
I think what
if they do, then just don't buy their stuff.
I think what that's in reference to is when DRM is implemented. You got that right?
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure. Noob Cakes. Yes, I did get your message. I was just tied up with other things, and I did get that. So there you go. This is Noob Cakes. This is my actual IRL buddy from Michigan. Okay, so unless you guys had anything else you wanted to add right at the very end there.
To just reply to BMG Jet real quick.
Sure.
So it'll be based off a session. We'll use a mix of IP and geolocation to expire that session if that changes. So if for whatever reason your server IP changes, but it's still in the same geolocation, it probably won't expire. But yeah, it's going to be session based. You're going to have to log into. So another thing with the plugin integration, it is going to be CodeFlink, but we are going to work with other sites. We can integrate using the same concept. Speaking, you'll log in to your account and it'll generate a session, and that session will automatically expire if the IP changes.
What kind of time frame are you looking at on DRM?
So you cut out from.
What kind of a time frame are you looking at for DRM?
No clue. It's really not a priority for us.
Okay.
Well, right now, I'm sorry, it is a priority, but not right now.
Right. I got you. Okay.
We have no time frame though.
I think more of a priority right now is to implement the login system into the plugin browser for CodeFlink, and that will enable people to safely log in and download their purchased files straight from the UI. And if they want to to basically buy new files, they would only add them to cart. So you can add them to cart in the browser, and then when you're in the actual website, you can see them in your list and you can purchase them.
Gotcha.
Jamie, 100% of hooks.
Okay. We are just missing 7 hooks so far.
Okay,
And-
not 99.9.
Yeah, but it's and mainly it's an harmony limitation so far, so we need to see how can we go around those ones. Yeah, but there are
7 out of how many? 650 something, right?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks a lot, gents. I appreciate your time, and I will talk to you all again very, very soon. I'm going to finish up on the stream, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, guys. Bye-bye, guys.
All right, so there we go. That was the Carbon team, the brains behind... What the hell is going on here? There we go. The brains behind Carbon. And now I have my homework set out for me because I need to figure out what the hell happened in my stream tonight. That was absolutely terrible and incredibly embarrassing. Let's get a CGG in chat for Carbon and let them know that we appreciate everything that we're doing. Everything that they're doing, sorry, with Carbon. Carl T says, I'd love to see an updated video on the plugin RAID protection. Okay, that's actually a good one, actually, because I just recently started using that on my own server. And so I'd be happy to do that. All right, so let's get, I don't think there was a whole lot of action, but let's just have a quick look here and make sure that I don't miss anybody. So Assassin donated 4.99 pounds, and Safe joined as a YouTube member, and the rest are subs, including Stina Maru. I'm like almost brokenhearted that Stina Maru only just now finally subbed to my YouTube channel, but that's okay. I appreciate him nonetheless. So I am I'm looking to you all in chat, because like I have a ton of ideas for videos. I just don't know if the value is there for you all yet. So I need to know what you guys want to see for future upcoming videos. So hit me up on Twitter at srtbull. Hit me up in Discord. You can DM me directly and tell me what you'd like to see for upcoming videos. But it's important that you all let me know what you need, because me just spewing out a bunch of information to you all doesn't make any sense. I need to be getting you the information that you actually need. Jamie Scott dropping another 2 poundage. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And Mr. Blue says, I want to see a Rust Maps video. I want to see a Rust Maps video too, so I better get on that. Rust Maps is going through some absolutely amazing changes, and I can't wait to introduce them to you. So that's coming up very, very soon. I'm not going to give away the date, even though I know what the date of that video is. Love to see updates on newer versions of plugins. Okay. So that means going back through my video catalog and redoing some of the videos from the past that have changed. And you're right, some of them have gone through some significant changes. You should definitely, here, this is, I'm gonna highlight this one because I like that. You should definitely get the Oxide team in for their story. Well, I fully intend on getting Oxide's story for sure. It's an important story to tell, and I want to be the one to tell it. So I'll definitely do that. Obviously, they have to be willing to tell their story, and I hope that they are. But so we'll see how that goes as things progress in that arena. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Michigan S by X, that's side by side. Michigan side by side. I feel like I've been out of the realm for so long. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, dude, you don't even know how to play Rust anymore. It's changed so much since the last time that you've played it, let alone actually operating a server. So, hey, I've got a really good channel here. If you want to get back into it, you should definitely check out my videos because I go over all of those details. Should definitely get Oxide on stream if they're down. I'll put it out there. Yeah, so Mr. Blue responded with Oxide is a little busy writing a new chapter of their story. Yeah, and I'm hoping to be the person that brings you that new chapter. So we'll see how that goes. Do a Rust server setup using Carbon. Hey, that's not a bad idea, actually. I like that. Yeah, from a clean install. Okay. Where's my damn notepad? How do I not have my notepad out? That's weird. I always have my notepad out. Oxide will just repeat what we've heard from the Carbon team tonight. I disagree. I think they're going to go a completely different avenue, but we'll see what they come up with. Can we do a Twitch rivals, but between Oxide and Carbon? Well, that actually goes against what I want to do. I was recently having a conversation the other night where I want to try to prevent this divide from happening. And yeah, I didn't get a very positive response on my dreams there. This is a good one. So I'll address this. How making mods. So I'm not a plugin developer by any stretch of the imagination. I don't speak C#. I don't know what hooks are. I don't know any of the inner workings of that. So there's no way that I could accurately teach that information. So I wouldn't even try. There are some resources out there, albeit they're not very good resources, to get you started with it. And then kind of the development happens by you learning from square one. It would be nice to see the two join. I would love to see them working together on this, but I don't see that happening. Do a Linus Tech Tips style video, performance between Oxide and Carbon, boot ups, and other stats. I wouldn't mind doing something like that, but I don't want to pit them against each other. I don't want to be the grounds for the pitting of them against each other. So people are gonna learn what they like better, because there's going to be people out there that absolutely refuse to not use Oxide, and that's totally cool. Carbon is there if people want to get into that, and Oxide is going to continue to be there too. So yeah. So Drawer says I'm team Oxide / Lone, ride or die. Well, Oxide and Lone, they're two separate entities. Oh, you're just saying that you're team. Okay, I got you. I know what you're saying. You're on both those teams. Yeah, I can't believe Amino didn't show up. It's so it's 10-7 for me, which means it's 10-9 for him. And yeah, I don't know where the hell Amino is. Pretty disappointed, actually. Linus actually got hacked here recently, lost his YouTube channel. I think he's got it back now, but yeah, Linus Tech Tips. Somebody hacked his YouTube channel. Maybe get Oxide to give a summary of what they've done over the last 6 years and then tell us the new stuff they're going to do. Minus the history, that's basically what I'm going to be doing. So similar to what I've been doing for Carbon, I want to be able to do the same thing for Oxide. It's going to be a little bit more complicated because it's not like Oxide is going to have like a product that drops. It's going to be something that gradually changes over time. And it's going to be hard, not impossible for me to do a showcase video on it, but I'm definitely going to try. Yeah, he's dreaming of a new Discord bot. That's all that guy thinks about is new Discord bots. Amino and his Discord bots. They used his access tokens to gain access. Really? Interesting. Are there any details from running Oxide with Harmony 2? I don't have details on that. Yeah, Mr. Blue's response there. Summary for the last 6 years, we've updated Rust updates. That's it. So basically keeping Oxide running as efficiently as possible for the last 6 years. And they've done a great job. It's been, I've said this before on streams and videos, it's been a really long time that we've had to wait. It's been a really long time since we've had to wait for an Oxide update. Usually it's ready to go as soon as there's a server update. So that's been good. Session tokens. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Oh, I got you. Okay. Okay, so that's gonna do it for this stream. I'm gonna shut her down. I appreciate the time that the Carbon team took for me tonight. I'm glad we were able to get together and give you all an opportunity to ask them questions directly. I apologize I wasn't able to make this stupid stream deck or stream. What is this called? StreamYard. I had it working before, and I don't know what changed, but I wasn't able to get them in like I was supposed to. I even paid for it this time. Dumbass. That should tell you not to pay for things. Just use the free version. All right. Thank you all so much for coming to the stream. Don't forget to hit that like button. I know everyone in chat is already subscribed to the channel, but if you happen to be just lurking in the background, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the Rust development world. Yeah, don't forget to like the video. Exactly. I appreciate that so much. Oh yeah, they're still watching chat. I can guarantee it for sure. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on upcoming videos, and I'm hoping to do even more and more streams. Thank you so much.